What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe with No Days Off Divas, back with another Slate breakdown on trade deadline, trade deadline, trade deadline. So a lot of the moving parts and stuff going on for today. If you guys have been living on a rock, then you guys definitely missing some of the moves and stuff like that. So actually, the first part of this breakdown is going to be going over Woj and Shams. Talk about all the trades and stuff that have gone down, because as an NBA fan, and in all honesty, just enjoying covering the NBA, I want to talk about some of the things that I've seen and give my perspective and how I think that some of these moves are going to actually help some teams, butcher some teams, and what some of these teams are going to be doing futuristic wise. So if you could bear with me in the beginning of this right here, and if you just enjoy listening to me ramble and talk, that'd be greatly appreciated. Talk to me down in the comment section about some of these trades and stuff that have gone down. What was your favorite trade so far today? What team are you rooting for? And actually enjoy seeing some of these players that have been moved to different teams. What exactly have you guys enjoyed seeing so far on a trade deadline for today for the NBA? Now, with all that said, make sure you guys subscribe so you guys don't miss any other content I do put up here on the channel. Drop a like on the video if you enjoy this video or any other videos that I do upload over here on the channel. For the side, I'm just going to pull it up and go over it off of ESPN. Since we kind of got to go back since yesterday, some things have actually happened. Yesterday, the Utah Jazz, they traded Fontecchio to the Detroit Pistons for a 2024 second round pick. Honestly, for the Pistons, I don't know exactly what this moves the needle for them. They really... The Pistons have been a mess. Now, granted, they did win last night, beating against the Kings in the Kings' actual home too, which is actually kind of crazy, without Cade Cunningham. So more power to the Detroit Pistons for being able to do that. But that small trade right there, I really don't have too much interest in regards to that right there. That's just whatever. It is what it is. Xavier Tillman getting traded to the Boston Celtics. That actually happened yesterday. That right there to me is actually a really big thing for them, for the Boston, because they do need another backup big, necessarily right behind Kristaps Porzingis and Al Horford, because they have been flip-flopping the rest days for those guys, and all you have coming off the bench was like a Luke Kennard and the guy that they actually traded away in one of these trades in regards to it. Really, his name just slips my mind. But Xavier Tillman leaving off of a Memphis Grizzlies team who is struggling, who definitely looks like they are bound for the lottery this offseason as well. That's a good move in regards to Tillman actually going to a contending team, and somewhere that he actually is going to be able to fill a role as more than likely like the second string center, something like that, since Al Horford, he does come in, play some power forward, or he can actually go out there and rotate with KP. KP can play the power forward position as well, things like that. So definitely a good pickup for the Boston Celtics right there, especially securing them for the postseason. The Minnesota Timberwolves, they traded away Shake Milton and Troy Brown Jr. for Detroit Pistons Monty Morris. Monty Morris has honestly been riding on the bench, hasn't played too much over there for the Pistons at all. Pretty sure he's not injured. I'm pretty sure on that one. But Shake Milton, Troy Brown. Shake Milton, I know he was getting spot minutes. Same thing for Troy Brown. These guys, they really weren't seeing too much run unless somebody was injured over here for the Minnesota Timberwolves. So that is definitely a good pickup for both teams in the sense that you're actually going to get a player that Minnesota does need whenever you have Mike Conley go down. We do see a lot of times they run Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He's not necessarily a distributing or a playmaking point guard. He's more of a scorer himself out there. Monty Morris, someone who I can actually see as being a backup point guard at the position, can actually play some decent defense, and also can be a little bit of a microwave scorer if you need him as well. So that's definitely a pretty good upside for them right there. Charlotte Hornets, they're stuck keeping Miles Bridges because he apparently vetoed any trade that they wanted to make for him, so they're stuck as well. Let's see what else. Hornets for Miles Bridges, yeah, he won't approve any trades. Philly picking up Buddy Hield. Now that right there for Marcus Morris and Frank Korkmaz and some second round picks. That pickup right there is huge for Philly for a couple of reasons. One, if Buddy can actually come in and knock down his shots, that's going to be big, because we already know Buddy Hield is a microwave scorer. He's out there to shoot threes. That literally, he go out there, he gets you a bucket. When you already have right now over here for Philly, Tyrese Maxey, he's trying to do everything he can, but he can't carry that offensive load like what we would have expected him to do. You're going to have him, Joel Embiid, he's going to be out for another 4 to 6 weeks as well. And you have Melton, who has been injury prone right now so far this season. Having Buddy Hield come in and be able to slide into that lineup, he can honestly rotate between him and a Kelly Oubre Jr., who Kelly technically wasn't expected to be a starter for this season. Expected for him to come off the bench. He can definitely rotate in there with him as well, just being able to bring that punch off the bench and actually bring some scoring for them. Cook Miles was buried on the bench, third, fourth string player over there. Marcus Morris, literally, I don't even know why the hell he's still in the league. He needs to go ahead and retire. No point at all. Toronto Raptors, them getting Kelly Olynyk and Ochai Agbaji, definitely interested to see what direction they are honestly going. They made another trade today, which I already talked about on Twitter, which was actually funny to me, the trade that they made. But Kelly Olynyk, Canadian player, I guess maybe he gets to go home. They're getting all their players that should be home are coming home right now and coming back to play at home is what it's looking like for the Toronto Raptors. But Kelly O, a great player off the bench. I definitely do believe they did need another backup center over here for the Raptors, considering that you traded away your center depth earlier this season when you made that trade with the New York Knicks already. So definitely being able to have Kelly O, a veteran presence. Definitely he has triple-double upside, and it's not, I'm not joking when I say this, triple-double upside. The dude is a very good passer, very good playmaker, can rebound very well, and he's not a big center at all. He's more one of those small centers as it is. Ochai Agbaji, I really don't have too much interest in regards to that. That just fills in their depth that they have behind Gary Trent Jr. and Scotty Barnes right there, but that's really just it for it. Definitely weird in regards, but maybe they see some upside for Agbaji. Now, the trade that we've all been waiting for. My OKC Thunder. I am a little hurt that we had to trade Trey Mann because he was definitely one of my favorite players on the Thunder, even though he wasn't getting minutes. But the upside that I seen for this dude in his first 2 years playing with us is it's there. It definitely is there. He has tremendous upside. Definitely a very good ISO player, but doesn't necessarily fit the mode of what OKC has built right now. And he was just buried on the bench behind all the guard depth that we had. So definitely wishing the best for him going to the Charlotte Hornets, considering that Melo's injury prone, your backup point guards and stuff that you have, Leaky Black and Nick Smith or whoever the heck they are, I don't think they can hold a candle to Trey Mann. And I'm hoping he can get minutes, especially considering that they don't even give their draft pick that they picked 2-3 seasons ago, Book Knight, any playing time, any run, which is crazy because Book Knight has a pretty good ceiling up there. I don't understand that for Charlotte. They really should be giving Book Knight run over there for Charlotte. Him along with Brandon Miller, that could honestly be a very good 1-2 punch over there, along with what Miles Bridges had been doing as well. Like, the Hornets have a decent core. I know that their coach came out the other day, said that they don't have the talent, which is bullshit. You're wrong. You guys do have the talent. You're just not using or utilizing your players. And it's whatever. Anyway, that's another soapbox. But we also traded Davis Bertans, which makes sense. And then it later came out that we traded Big Meech, the boy Meechix, who we waited so long to get him over here from overseas to actually play. I personally am very surprised that we traded Meechix. I honestly thought Alexei Pokashevsky would have been the one traded, but definitely there is some more information that has come out about this because there's also some draft compensation that was also traded as well, but that has not came out just yet. So definitely some more things to be broken down in regards to what happened there. Now the 76ers, they traded Daniel House and a 2024 second round pick to the New York Knicks. Via the New York Knicks to Detroit, move Sixers salary cap cushion, buyout players to deadline, including Hornets guard Kyle Lowry. So that'll be a pretty decent pickup for the 76ers if they are able to get Kyle Lowry to come over there. The Knicks, now, this is the team that I honestly feel like they made a very good splash. Trading period, like not just deadline, but for the season. The New York Knicks acquiring Alex Burke from the Detroit Pistons, and they got someone else. Who else did they get? With Detroit landing, okay, so they also got Bogdan Bogdanovic and Alex Burks for Quentin Grimes, Malachi Flynn, Evan Fournier, and Ryan Carnio, whatever how the heck say his name. But getting those two players who are microwave scorers, that solidifies New York Knicks bench, which is one thing that I really felt like the Knicks didn't have. And honestly, wouldn't be surprised if maybe they start Alex Burke or they start Bojan. One of those two players can start because when you look at it right now, they are starting their bench players and Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo. Both of these guys technically were your bench. your bench players were playing the starting role right now because OG Anunoby is down. Julius Randle is down. I know we've seen Precious Achiuwa come in. Mitchell Robinson is down. That's why you have your second string center and Isaiah Hartenstein having to start. And technically his backup, Precious Achiuwa, is starting at the power forward because, hey, Julius Randle went down. So this definitely gives them some depth in regards to having players to be able to come off the bench, because Miles McBride coming off the bench wasn't doing anything for them at all for the New York Knicks. Quentin Grimes, I don't know what the heck happened to him, but it seemed like he just fell off a cliff. And they weren't giving Ryan Acunio or Evan Fournier minutes at all because, of course, Tibbs, I wouldn't trust him myself. We're seeing New York run a very deep, very, not even deep, but just deep minutes for their starters. So picking up these two players right here, as long as they can stay healthy, because both of those players do have some injury history, that'll be the main thing for them, is if they can actually stay healthy. Next trade, we got Toronto Raptors. They traded for point guard. They traded point guard Dennis Schroeder and Thaddeus Young to the Brooklyn Nets for Spencer Dinwiddie. I love it, because now you're actually going to give the Brooklyn Nets an actual point guard who can actually score and can play make with some of the players that he has there. Dennis, love him. I do think that he's a pretty good defensive player for a small guard, but just getting Spencer Dinwiddie over to Canada where I can watch less of his games is even better. I love that. I really do love that. And honestly, I don't even see what the hell he's going to do over there, because Spencer Dinwiddie is just fucking shit. He's shit. Like, that's just point blank period. The Charlotte Hornets trading away PJ Washington to the Dallas Mavericks. That is good for Dallas. Grant Williams was very hit or miss in regards to what he was doing down there for them. PJ Washington definitely can just go ahead and slide him in, and he fills a hole, which for Dallas, they covered two things that they actually needed, which was a backup center or a starting center, which they got Daniel Gafford from the Wizards, but also being able to get PJ Washington, who can double as a small ball center, which we can see small lineups now from the Dallas Mavericks, but also just that spot at the 4. The spot at the 4 was just so frustrating for Dallas. That was one of the things they were truly missing, because you had Derrick Jones Jr., who is small, skinny, definitely more of your 3 versus a 4. And then you also had Grant Williams, who is he's a small man. He's a small, big man. Playing the power forward position, more of your small forward type spot, but just because he's so girthy was the reason why, pause. That was the only reason why he was playing the 4. Outside of that, PJ Washington fills a really good hole. If he could be consistent with his scoring, his shooting, all those just period, and defense down there for Dallas, you're gonna have great playmakers in Kyrie and Luka Doncic down there for him. Whew, the wonders that they will be able to do with both of the big men that they picked up. Daniel Gafford coming from Washington to the Charlotte Hornets, and you already have Derek Lively, who's been injury prone and has been missing games left and right. The lobs that Daniel Gafford should actually be able to get from Luka and Kyrie versus what he was getting from Tyus Jones and Jordan. Love it. The Oklahoma City Thunder includes 2 future second-round picks of the Charlotte Hornets. Okay, cool, whatever. The only other trade that we have up here right now is Patrick Beverley. He's being traded to the Bucks in exchange for Cameron Payne and a 2027 second-round pick. I think Pat Bev, just getting the minutes that he's gotten over the last couple games, just literally vaulted that dude up. That's what that did. Granted, the trade from Philly to Milwaukee, considering how well he was playing for them over there, hyping up the young guys, playing some pretty solid defense, and honestly was a reason why they won 1 or 2 games since Embiid has been in and out of the line. A little strange. I will say it's a little strange. I don't necessarily see Cameron Payne being the piece that was needed, because even over here for the Bucks, Payne wasn't necessarily doing too much, unless that second round pick was what you really traded and was the value that you were getting for Patrick Beverley. That would be the only thing that I could see right there. But interesting. Okay, we just got another trade in from Woj. Dougie McDermott is being traded to the Pacers. So Doug McDermott off of the Spurs, which I do actually believe they played tonight. Not like that's going to really mess with too much over there for the Spurs. But he's being traded to the Pacers. So that's definitely something. All right. If you guys were able to make it to those first 13 minutes, thank you guys for actually tuning in and enjoying, just my regular NBA just talk, stuff like that. I really do enjoy just talking NBA. It's something that I really doing quite a bit. But let's go ahead. Let's get this breakdown started. I do apologize for yesterday, guys. I was sick. sick as a dog. Honestly, I just think my body was just worn out and tired, so I really had to just take a rest day. I still posted on Twitter, still posted on the Patreon, so all those things. Like I say again, if I don't post up here on the YouTube in regards to my breakdowns, I will have something posted on the Patreon and on X. So definitely check those things out whenever you guys are looking for stuff. All right, so looking at it for today, like I just said, Pacers, they just made a trade, so we'll have to wait and see exactly what was just traded. Tyrese Halliburton, game time decision for him to actually play today. Mathurin, Smith, all these guys, of course, they just got Korkmaz and Morris. So we got to see what's going to go on in here for the Pacers. Over here for the Golden State Warriors, Andrew Wiggins, he's expected to play, and Draymond Green, they are both expected to play. Chris Paul, Gary Payton, both of those guys are going to be out. For San Antonio Spurs, nothing new over here until that trade fully solidifies. Orlando Magic, nothing has popped up for the Magic. The Magic ain't making no moves, which is kind of crazy because I do think the Magic did need to make some type of moves. Cleveland, they're still without Ty Jerome's and Tristan Thompson. No news over here. Looks like Evan Mobley and Darius Garland, who have been on a minutes limit, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to still be limited again today. But they are not on any type of report right now as being held out. So they should be full swing and be able to play. The Brooklyn Shitters, they have traded away a couple of players, got a lot of players out as well. So this might be one of those teams that we can actually stack up because they're going to have to play the minutes. So that's one team that we can actually get some players from, just like how we have from the Memphis Grizzlies, who again are a plethora of injuries once again on today's slate. Let's see what we got. Another one. The Hawks will not trade DeJounte Murray at the deadline. All right, so the Hawks are not trading Murray. So you guys can actually tell what time I'm recording this as I'm reading these alerts as they come through on my end over here. All right, so Dallas Mavericks, Maxi Kleber, game time decision, Kyrie, Luka, all those guys are good. Of course, they're not going to have PJ Washington today. They're not going to have Daniel Gafford. There's no way that he's going to be able to play tonight, literally, unless he hops on the jet right now, gets over to New York, which I mean, it is pretty close, but I would highly doubt that they're going to throw the dude out there and have him play tonight. That would be crazy if they did. For New York Knicks, Brunson, he's a game time decision. If he's going to be in or out, that's definitely going to be something we want to pay attention to, because if he's going to be out, literally, that's just voting the usage for Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, just this whole starting lineup. I would be thoroughly interested if Jalen Brunson was going to be out. That would be crazy to me if that was to happen. Minnesota Timberpups, no real news I got to worry about over here for them. Their starters are good, healthy, good to go. Nothing to worry about on that side. And over here for the Milwaukee Bucks, Dame Dollar, Dame Lillard, game time decision. We do need to know what's going to go on with him. He's going to be the main player that I want to know if he's going to be in or out. Other than that, Giannis, Brook Lopez, both of them are expected to play. Lopez has missed the last 2 games, so it looks like he will actually be back finally today for today's game. For the Chicago Bulls taking on Memphis Grizzlies, which should be, I keep saying playing against Memphis Grizzlies should be an easy matchup, easy game. But Memphis has actually stayed in a lot of these games that they have played with their rotation pieces, with these guys that they have out there that they're giving hella minutes to. They have continuously been in game. So I can't sleep on the Memphis Grizzlies. They're not winning, but they are bringing us some DFS fantasy goodness for the fact that they are actually able to stay in the game, so which I will have to commend them in regards to that. But for the Chicago Bulls, Alex Caruso, Kobe White, both of them game time decision. I fully expect for them to play. Then over here on the Memphis Grizzlies side, Derrick Rose, game time decision. Jaren Jackson Jr., he's been game time decision over his last couple games, but hasn't played. Definitely something to pay attention to. And of course, Desmond Bane, Clark, Ravio, Oladipo, Smart, Stevens, and they just traded away Roddy. All those guys will not be available in play. So this is going to be a very short-handed team once again. Definitely something that we can get our value from. All right, so the last game that's going to actually be on the slate is going to be this Utah game. Utah, Kevin Knox, I doubt that he's going to actually be able to play today. He just got traded last night. That would be crazy if he would. But definitely we'll want to know who's going to slide in for Fontecchio into the starting lineup over here for the Utah Jazz. Other than that, Carl Lewis and Otto Porter, 2 other players that they traded for, they're not going to be able to play today. So definitely just pay attention to who's going to be over here for Utah. And Utah, they've been able to keep games pretty close, especially when Lauri Larkin and John Collins and Colin Sexton have been on. So definitely just pay attention to that. Over here for Philly, not Philly, for the Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal are game time decisions. I would want to know whether or not if they're going to be in or out. That is very interesting to see that that they are game time decisions. So pay attention to that. And we just got word that Robin Lopez is being traded to the Kings and he is getting waived. Damn. So Robin Lopez. So Brook Lopez is definitely playing because Robin Lopez was filling in for his brother. Right here on this side. It's very interesting that they are trading him to waive him. Must be getting either some draft picks or some money in regards for that right there. That's definitely something for the Bucks, who actually do need another backup. Another backup big right there. All right, going over to DraftKings, the site that I play the most on the site. If you guys don't got an account, you want one, check the link down in the description below so you guys get that deposit match bonus and join your boy over here on the King. All right, we got another trade summary that just popped up. Spurs are getting Marcus Morris, and the Pacers are getting Doug McDermott and a second-round pick. Morris is likely to be bought out by the Spurs. Wow. A lot of do-nothing moves are being made right now in the NBA. Wow. This is crazy. All right. Starting with this first game that we got over here, the Pacers taking on the Golden State Warriors. I'll say on the Warriors side, Steph Curry, if you can afford him, take him. I like him, 9-5. Has been playing, of course, having to carry the team. That last game against Philly, 25 minutes, only gave us 14.5 fantasy points. It's the chef. He'll bounce back. Don't mind going right back to him. That was really, honestly, just very odd in regards for him not being able to score or do anything in this game at all whatsoever. So definitely expect this to be a bounce back spot for him. Jonathan Kuminga, as long as he's been put into the starting lineup, playing the power forward role. Power forward is going up against Indy. Ding, ding, ding. We have continued to attack that. I would expect this one to be one of his 40-ish plus fantasy point type games for him over here. The rebounding upside, playmaking, and also just the scoring that he's been able to do. Love him here at that price at 7-3. Outside of that, over here, only other player I'll have some interest in, you could play with Darius Saric off the bench, and then Klay Thompson as your GPP option, 5'8", comes in under Podominski at 6K. Definitely would be more of the GPP option. Played 28 minutes in the last game, 6 of 12 out there, 4 or 5 from 3. So right now, the shot is falling. I'm going to want to ride a shooter whenever the shooter is actually finding his shot. I know the last couple games have been pretty hard for him, 14, 10, 8 points, and he's been wanting to play better. It's looking like he's taking the turn in the right direction now. So I will go ahead and ride the hot hand while it is hot. Klay Thompson, 5'8". Love the upside for him. Like the spot for him as well. Going up against a fast-paced Pacers team, this should be a spot where he can go ahead and get himself right. Now, if Tyrese Halliburton is going to be out, then we already know we'll return to TJ McConnell and Nembhard. Both those guys are going to get the role and run over here at the point guard position. But if Halliburton is in, the only thing that we have to worry about is that minutes limit. Looks like last game he played 29 minutes against the Houston Rockets. So if he's not on the injury report and he's going to actually be able to play at least maybe 32 minutes, I'll say I do love the upside for him. Fast-paced game against the Warriors. I'm not scared of any defense that they have over there at the guard position. And we know that Halliburton is a 9K playing guard over here. So the upside definitely there for him. Outside of that, Pascal Siakam be the other main guy I want to get to. Been just very consistent over his last couple games. 30+ fantasy points in all 5 of his games. Of course, with Hallie being on the minutes limit, or if he's not, he's definitely just taking the load there. One play, if you guys are looking for a goblin play, if they have it up over on Prize Picks, take his 2.5 or 3.5 assist ups prop. I do like the upside for that play right there. If you guys are looking for something to actually take, definitely is a bad one. And then Miles Turner, you can not Neesmith. Miles Turner would be a GPP option for me here at 6'3". Not a bad spot, and the upside is definitely there for him. But yeah, you really don't necessarily have to go there. Going over to the San Antonio Spurs taking on the Orlando Magic. I think the biggest thing for me over here, especially from the Spurs, is that they are on the back end of a back-to-back. And I'm not too sure how many minutes Wemby's going to play. Normally, we've seen Wemby, he will sit out either the front end or the back end of the back-to-back. So, Spencer Dinwiddie is expected to get waived by the Raptors. Thank God. I hope no team signs him. I'm joking. I'm not going to hate on another man and what he can actually go out there and provide and do for his family. So hopefully another team does sign him, but no interest in Spencer Dinwiddie. I'm sorry, guys. But Victor Wembanyama, I want to know if he's going to be limited or if he's actually going to be playing on this back-to-back, because this will be the first time in a very long time that we'll actually see him not under injury report coming into a back-to-back. So I do need to know that for sure. Outside of that, over here for the Spurs, the only other player I really do have some interest in is going to be Trey Jones. The upside is there. He's been playing very consistent over his last several games, and opposing point guards have actually done very well going up against the Orlando Magic. And the price at 5'9", pretty decent, very soft for a price for him right there. You can take Shochan as a possible GPP option and play, but I think this is going to be a game where he's going to be playing a lot more of defense, especially going up against the likes of a Paulo Banchero, Franz Wagner over here. I will say this game should be a bounce back spot for Franz after his last game going out there giving a dud against Miami. 35 minutes, 7 turnovers. Literally ruined the game stack that I had the day that I played the dude. But 27.25 fantasy points. This is most definitely a bounce back spot, in a spot where we could actually be able to see him thrive. Jaden Springer to be traded to the Celtics. Jaden Springer's play for the 76ers. Interesting to see who they will actually be trading back for him. A lot of news coming in the last 4 minutes before the trade deadline locks for the day. But over here on the Orlando Magic side, Franz Wagner, love the upside for him here. Definitely a bounce back spot for him. Wendell Carter Jr., as long as he can keep himself out of foul trouble. We already know opposing centers have smashed, destroyed, and crushed going up against the San Antonio Spurs. And his 26 minutes going up against them, he only gave us 23.25 fantasy points. This is definitely a spot where he can actually make things right and go out there and do what he should have did the first time. Like I said, same thing for Franz. This is a bounce back position spot. He dropped 37 the last time he played going up against them. So I would expect much more of the same, more towards that. And then if you want to get a bit of Apollo, 51 fantasy points in that last game going up against him, 8,200. I want to come down here and just get the value I can get for Franz. I love the upside for him instead of going over there. Cleveland taking on the Brooklyn Shitters. Like I said, over here for them, with Evan Mobley actually not being limited or anything like that, and it's pretty much cleared to play on today. I like the upside for him here in the spot. Everyone else over here, all GPP options for me. You can go with Jared Allen, but Jared Allen going up against Claxton, the game models are kind of skewed. Hasn't had the best reputation in regards to playing going up against him, but the upside definitely is there for him. We have attack with opposing centers going up against the Brooklyn Nets, and then if you want to, the security blanket that you can get to in Donovan Mitchell, he's been playing very well even with everyone being back. I do like the upside for him, but not a must at that price tag at 9.9, especially when I can just go ahead and play for who I really do feel like is the security of security blankets, and that is Luka Doncic at 12K, who I fully expect to play. Or if Kyrie Irving is going to be out there without a Luka Doncic, I will take that right there for the 8,700 that I can get instead right there. All right. Sorry. Going over here to the Brooklyn Shitter side, depending on who's actually available, who's in, who's out. If my boy Dennis Smith Jr. gets to start here at the point guard position, I will have to endorse him at 4,200. That's a pretty solid price tag. He did let me down the last time I played him. Only played 18 minutes going up against Dallas, which is just stupid that he only played 18 minutes. They gave Spencer Dinwiddie more minutes to him, which just didn't make any sense. Wasn't doing bad in my opinion, but at 4,200, I will take him right there. I know he has a pretty decent ceiling in regards to if he can go out there and give me a 30 plus fantasy point type game, which going up against the Cleveland Cavs, when they're on the road, they have been letting teams stay in games. They're not necessarily blowing anybody out. So I do like the upside for him there. Cam Thomas, if he can stay hot like how he's been over his last several games, he definitely go out here and give you at least 30 plus fantasy points. And the playmaking was on full display last game going up against Dallas, especially when you have Spencer Dinwiddie not doing too much out there. So the upside definitely there's for Cam Thomas. Nick Claxton is going to be your GPP option. No one's going to want to go ahead and play him, especially because of the reputation of going up against the Cavs. The Cavs, they're the Cavs. But if you look at him, 33 minutes going up against him, he dropped 29.75 fantasy points, double in that game. And he can do that again here in this position spot. Don't hate. And I don't mind him at 7-1. That is definitely just your GPP option. Ben Simmons on a minute limit. I'm not going to mess with that. And of course, all these players down here, the trades, the players that are out, we just really need to get some more clarification and news over there for them. Let's see. The Raptors will not trade Bruce Brown at the deadline. All right, Woj, thanks for telling us something that we didn't need to know. Dallas taking on New York Knickerbockers. Long as Kyrie and Luka are in, they're going to be the main two players that you want to get to. Outside of that, if they're out, or if Luka's out, Kyrie's in, and of course we want to get Kyrie. If Kyrie's out, Luka's in, I want Luka. Outside of that, Josh Green, I think that's his name. Is it Josh Green? Yeah, Josh Green. I like him. He's been playing very decent over his last couple games. 33 minutes, only dropped 19 fantasy points in that last game against Brooklyn. But definitely a bounce back spot for him here going up against New York Knickerbockers in what should be probably a slower game. He's not by any means a must at 5-1. There's definitely some better value on the slate we can get to. Come out here, maybe play like a Jaron Hardy, Derrick Jones Jr. if they don't get traded or anything like that in the last couple minutes. But at Dallas, they're going to be a little short-handed with the moves that they just made on today. So definitely something that I could rock with. I will say Maxi Kleber, if he's going to be in, him and Powell should get all the run there at that center position, especially since they have just traded away Grant Williams and Rashad Holmes just got traded as well. They're not really going to have any backup at that center position. So that's something maybe you can take as a weird value or something like that if you wanted to look to that. Blazers are getting Delonte Blanton. The Celtics are getting the second round pick. Some really weird trades are coming in now. Over here in New York Knicks, if Jalen Brunson is going to be out, Brunson believed to avoid serious ankle injury. He exited Tuesday game after rolling his ankle. While it may cost him a few days, it doesn't sound like he's going to be a long-term issue. He was spotted walking slowly, but not without much limp. All right, so not too sure if Brunson's going to be out. Apparently, he rolled his ankle pretty good in that Memphis game. So if Brunson, and this is what I'm saying, that game against Memphis, man, Memphis 123 to 113. Memphis kept it close. And if they can do that again, man, the upside for the players, especially in this Bulls game, is going to be there. It's going to be tremendous if they can. But if Brunson's going to be out, Dante DiVincenzo, Isaiah Hartenstein, Precious Achiuwa, Josh Hart, all these players right here are going to get a big boost for me. Bulls will not trade Andre Drummond at the deadline. That sucks. But yeah, Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo will be main two guys that I want to get to over here. And then Miles McBride, he should get the start, especially because there's no Quentin Grimes, Malachi Flynn, Conio, none of these guys. And we know that starters get deep run over here for Tibbs. And that's if Brunson's going to be out. Miles McBride will be like your main value play that you're going to go ahead and get to on today's slate. He's going to be out there. Minutes equal production. Like you see in this last game, 31 minutes against the Memphis Grizzlies. He dropped 25.25 fantasy points. I will take that all day, every day, especially for a 4-1 player. You're going to get me at least 20 to 25 fantasy points. I'll take that. No questions asked. Very easy, very simple. Right there. And then you can't mess with Hartenstein over here as another play, 6,700. Really do like the upside for him. Or come down here to Precious Achiuwa, who, like I said, they're playing hella minutes. They're playing deep minutes, 40-ish minutes out there, and they're producing in those minutes and those roles that they're getting over there. Chicago Bulls taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. Love this matchup right here for Vooch. We've seen opposing centers smash, destroy, go off going up against them. And long as he doesn't go out here and just be a little bitch, he should definitely have a double-double in this game. This is a 20-plus point type game for him, and especially with the rebounds, things like that. This isn't going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves, where we're going to have Andre Drummond out there, the double big lineup out there. So Andre Drummond, he should definitely go back to his backup role. Specifically, they only played Drummond in this game against Minnesota because it was a double big lineup, and it worked out there for the Bulls. It worked with them running that, which I was like, damn, that's awesome. That one, I'm going to tell you, to me, that's awesome in regards to them actually doing that, because Billy Donovan was not necessarily a coach that would make changes like that when he coached for us for the Thunder. So to see him actually lean into a game plan like that, like, hey, they're starting two centers, I'm going to start two centers. That was big, because a lot of teams, as you can see, they would just try to go ahead and use their power forward going up against Karl-Anthony Towns. But they met it, and I like what they did right there. That was very good, and it definitely helped them win that game going up against them. Now, outside of that, Kobe White, Alex Caruso, both those guys are in. I don't mind either one of those guys, but my main guy, Ayo Dosunmu, 29 minutes in the last game, 16.75 fantasy points. Definitely a bounce back spot for him here going up against the Memphis Grizzlies, who, again, they're the Memphis Grizzlies dealing with injuries and a bunch of players being out. So I do like the upside for him here. Definitely should bounce back to his 30-plus fantasy point type ways, what he's been giving us over his last couple games. So I will be riding him over going with the Alex Caruso or the Kobe White. Not saying that either one of those guys are bad options, but just the value that you can get coming down to Ayo, long as he's starting, you might as well just go ahead and play him there. Over on the Memphis side, if Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to be out, we're going to still see Vince Williams, Santi Aldama, Luke Kennard, Gigi Jackson, Scottie Pippen Jr., Gilliard, Conchard. These are going to be the main guys that are going to get the rotation, are going to get the run. Vince Williams is going to be a main guy you want to go to. Santi Aldama, Luke Kennard, and Conchar will be your other guys that you would have to have some consideration in. You could definitely just come in here and fill in with the guys that are cheapest, which would be Conchard at 4.5. We know he's going to get decent run. He's been playing at least mid-20s over his last couple games. Been so productive, but not anything to write home about. As long as they're giving Scottie Pippen 20-plus minutes a game, he's showing that he can actually produce while he's out there at 5K. Don't mind that at all as a possible play. And then Luke Kennard, he's kind of been rolling as the de facto point guard, but the upside at 5'4", I would rather just go ahead and come down and play for a Gilliard or a Scottie Pippen Jr. or something like that. And then just Vincent Williams, him being at this price tag 5'8", he's really just your consistent player, especially with no Jaren Jackson Jr. Him at 5'8", that's just definitely an easy day and a pretty good price tag right there to take. Minnesota taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. Over here from Minnesota, Ant Edwards, Karl-Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley. For me, the order for these guys over here is going to be Rudy. Opposing centers have literally had very great games going up against Milwaukee. As long as Rudy can keep himself out of foul trouble, doesn't get into any ticky-tacky fouls, trying to go up against Giannis whenever he comes in, trying to block shots or anything like that, should be an easy day for Rudy to get his rebounds, get his offensive putbacks, things like that. Also some blocks. But Rudy, love the upside here. He is definitely on my radar, very high as one of my mid-tier center plays. I really do like the price tag, and just the floor I think is going to be very good for him here in this spot. Going up against the Bulls, 44 minutes, dropped 38.5 fantasy points. Not bad. Outside of that, Anthony Edwards with pretty sure Chris Middleton, he should be out. He rolled the ankle pretty good. Chris Middleton's going to be out. Dame, questionable to play. Brook Lopez, he's going to be playing. Crowder, there's no defense that's necessarily going to scare me over here off of Ant. Ant should be able to bully Beasley. Beasley, he's a so-so defender, but love the upside for Anthony Edwards here. Should be a good spot for him as well. But Rudy, Ant will be the main two guys. Karl-Anthony Towns, Mike Conley, all GPP options. Not anything that sticks out that I have to get to. Then over here from Milwaukee, if Dame is going to be out, I like Giannis Antetokounmpo. Definitely a decent player we can go to. Bobby Portis with No Chris Middleton out there. He should see decent minutes off the bench. As you can see, since Doc Rivers really has taken over, he's been playing at least about 30-ish minutes a game. So I do like the upside for Bobby P over here as well. And then if you want to, decent value option you can come to is going to be Malik Beasley, just because he's going to have to play the minutes. And of course, with no Chris Middleton, he's going to have to take those shot attempts as well. And if Dame is to miss as well, that's just more shots to open up for him. So I do like the upside at 4.8. Might as well just go ahead and ride that as another value option that you have there. Utah taking on the Phoenix Suns. Utah, really, I don't have any interest outside of Lauri Markkanen and John Collins, main two guys I want to take. Over here on the Phoenix side, Kevin Durant, really great spot, especially if there's no Devin Booker or Bradley Beal. If they're both in, Beal, GPP option. Devin Booker, you can mess with that, but I would rather take Kevin Durant. And then Nurk going up against John Collins. He should eat, feast, and do whatever the hell he wants to do inside this matchup. Really great spot for him. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me. Hopefully you guys got a little something out of this video. Definitely feel like it kind of went a little long, but a little short at the same time in regards to it. I'm going to go finish watching and reading up on some trades and stuff that happened. One thing I will say, if you guys are not following me on X, like I've said this time and time again in regards to it, but definitely check me out. I have been posting nightly. Of course, you know, I got to post about trades, but I've been posting nightly a lot of these game stacks. And last night I posted my 3 favorite plays that I did have while I was waiting for more props to be added. Was waiting to see if they were going to add Jonas or some other players, but they never did. And I didn't get any goblins over there, but I put out my main 3 that I really did like for the slate. And sure enough, they cashed, they hit. I stacked them up personally with some other things from the Sacramento Kings and the Detroit Pistons game, and cashed out on a 6-6 slip right there, which actually, because I know seeing is believing for a lot of people, but this was a slip that I went out and I ran personally myself with Zion, Kawhi Leonard, and Paul George. I ran Harrison Barnes, Kevin Huerter, and Keegan Murray, all those guys for their unders. It was just looking at the numbers and everything for it. I didn't expect Detroit to actually upset in the matchup, but I'm glad that they actually did, and it just panned out for me in regards to what I actually ran over there, and just Kawhi also having a bad game going up against a pretty good defensive team in the Pelicans. Just panned out. But as you can see, right here in the other slip that I actually did post, where I was able to get the full stack, which to me didn't make any sense why Trey Murphy wasn't able to get his rebounds. Same thing for Larry Nance Jr. down here, especially once Jonas went out. Just really just upsetting in regards to that. Definitely could have actually cashed out onto 6 slips, but whatever. I'm not going to be greedy. Tonight, I will have more of these slips posted up. Again, if you guys are not following me over here on X, just definitely check it out. No Days Off chat is the link over here. I'll be posting my 2 favorite game stacks of the night. They will go up on site. So definitely check those out. And I will also drop some stuff over there on the Patreon as well. With that being said, it's your boy Zoe. Peace.